right, good evening and welcome to Guna Matters, where your opinion matters. And we've got the enforcer and don't waste the tweet, Des and Gary. Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Glenwyn, Des,
Hello, mate.
and chat room. Welcome.
Great stuff. Des, how's it, man?
Yeah, it's been a long week for me. I've been on a lot of these podcasts, surprisingly with Gary as well. I was on till 4 a.m. this morning on Fan Circle. I had to go to bed, but it's good.
What?
It's good to be on here as well and talk about Arsenal. Always enjoy talking about Arsenal. Great to be on here with you guys. Hello to the chat room and come on, you Gunners.
Come on, you Gunners. Right, so tomorrow's game. Um, we're gonna obviously have a chat about that. Leicester is coming to the Emirates, and we're gonna invite them into our door to have a good visit. But first, before we go there, Gary, what is your take on the three guys that, or the two guys, or three guys, yes, that might come back tomorrow?
Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna get us at times walking into the team tomorrow?
As far as starting, I don't think there's any reason to change that. But I think if they're healthy, they should be playing. If and when we do subs. So Tierney, right, came in the last game, so I would expect him to definitely get some time to help close out the game. But I think you're talking about the other three players that did miss: Milser, Ferro, Tomiyasu, and
Tierney.
Fabio Vieira,
Fabio.
right? So yeah, if they're healthy and they're ready to go, then I say you play them, right? If they're not, then there's no reason for them to be on the bench. So this game, I'm expecting it to hopefully be, probably a little bit easier than the last one as far as my stress levels. I think Jesus is going to be one of the main reasons why it will be stressless. If he comes out and plays the same way, if he gets that front line playing the same way as the last game, I think hopefully everybody knows what they need to do now when they're in those positions on the pitch with the ball at their feet.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting that to make hopefully things a little bit easier for us, and the crowd being at home for the first game should be good. But yeah, those four players, I think that's right now that's a difference in our season, having four players like that available to us. Right, I think right now, outside of these four, Nketiah and Sambi are probably the next ones as far as, for me, part of the what would be a rotation if we decide to do that. But those four players, I believe, can be starters for us for most of the season if need be. So yeah, that's really good to have in our on our bench and in our squad. So yeah, if they're getting a shirt, I say if you're getting a shirt and you get to sit on the bench, then you should be ready to play.
Definitely.
So I don't think there's no need to start them right now because they are all coming back from injuries. But it would be nice to get them to get a couple minutes on their feet at home, because I think our next two matches are on the road, if I recall. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's nice depth that we should have. I mean, we've been crying now for the longest time that we should have depth. I mean, those four players alone is a game changer. Whether they come in or whether they start the next game or whatnot. I mean, those four players alone. I believe I've read this afternoon that Fabio is not ready yet. But the other three, like Tommy, Smith Rowe, and of course Tierney, they ready. They've been training, and so they might be seen tomorrow. What is your take on that, bro?
Well, what Gary said is totally cool, but I think there'll be bench warmers till needed tomorrow. I don't think we'll actually start with, unless you put Tierney at left back and you put Zinchenko where Xhaka plays and put Xhaka on the bench, maybe. But I think, adding to what Gary said, because he's basically covered it, 5 subs this season it's going to mean that Arsenal have better rotation. So if Saka gets tired, we can replace Saka. We've got the player to replace Saka. You know, if so and so gets tired, we've got the player to replace them. You know, and
Cool.
I think that's how it's going to work this season. I think your subs, and when you use your subs, are going to be super important this season to help Arsenal keep a fit, good 11 on the pitch.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that all four of those guys would walk into the team fully fit. Fabio, I'm a little bit disappointed because I was hoping that he was going to play because I really want to see what this lad can do. I bet you're the same, aren't you guys? I just want to see what he can do.
Yeah.
So it's all about subs, right time of subs, putting people on the bench at the right time, playing the players at the right time could make a big difference this season for Arsenal.
Yeah, Fabio makes me think of the former Arsenal player that we brought in that was also injured. I can't remember. Was it Koscielny or somebody when we brought the player in and then he was injured like Fabio? He was signed and immediately we heard that he's injured. So I'm assuming that. Yeah, sorry, Gary.
I thought Cedric was hurt coming in. I don't recall if he played right away.
Yeah.
And because as I recall, right, we brought him in and then we re-signed him, and he hadn't actually played that many games.
Yeah, he
So
came on in loan first, and then we had a permanent deal for him. Yeah, yeah, I remember. So, just before we go on, I mean, we've got a quiz. This is the quiz. I began my career as a trainee with Arsenal, joining the club on schoolboy forms in 1985, and I was prolific for Arsenal's academy, scoring 59 goals in one season. That's a lot of goals. I also won the FA Youth Cup in 1998, and with Arsenal made my first team debut against Everton on 7th May 1988, although the club's forward positions at the time were usually taken by Paul Merson and Alan Smith, and I came to prominence during a loan spell at Leighton Orion, sorry, in '89, and when I scored 9 goals in 16 games. And after a poor start to the 89-90 season, I was again loaned out to Leicester City. And I use this particular person because we are playing Leicester tomorrow. If you know who it is, please guess who I am, but we can only do that a bit later. So, there's so many things that has been hyped about and talked about, and to me, I want to start with the fringe players first. Is these two guys? I think their time at Arsenal is over. Nelson and Anthony Maitland-Niles. And Nelson is one of the injured players in this week. What do you say? Are they ever gonna get a chance, or should we let him go, Gary?
yeah, no, I think and they should have been gone already. For me, if I was running the club, they would be gone already. I think for their careers, they needed to go either out on loan, before the season started, definitely, or a transfer to where they can actually just settle and get used to just playing football in the same place and know that they're going to be there for a number of years.
Yeah.
I don't think the loans are supposed to work the way they have for these players who've been on loan and not been, for me anyways, part of what I consider the future of Arsenal. So I think what's disappointing, and we're all going to probably say the same thing. Maitland Niles is disappointing because he had position tailor made for him. All he had to do was just continue to play it, continue to improve with it. A starting position at Arsenal was right there in his hand.
Correct.
A spot on an England team was there in his
Definitely.
hand. The only
Yes.
thing that it required is that you play in a position that you're strongest at. And I don't know who's talking to him, but like I think I've said this, and I think Des has heard me say that. I think he's hurt his career. For what reason, I do not know. It makes no sense at all. Like in this day and age, like I don't know what playing midfield does for you more than playing every day at a position that allows you to play for your country as well. I don't.
Yeah.
The just you kind of weigh those two. How do you say, nah, you know what, I'm going to take the risk, but you have a position right here with nobody there competing against you at that point in time, and
And
still,
a perfect example, sorry to break your word, is a legendary player at this stage. And a lot of people might not say it, but Gareth Bale, he started as a left back for Spurs, and he worked his way up until where he's being a prominent goal scorer, attacking midfielder, as a striker. And I mean, if that was Ainsley Maitland-Niles, just listen to what the managers had said. Like you're saying, play in that position, then you will get your spot in the team, and you will get your spot for your country. And I mean, you're spot on, Gary. So yeah, sorry, continue.
yeah. So that's Maitland Niles in a nutshell. I think he's hurt himself, not necessarily, maybe not financially, because I think that's part of it as well. He's probably not going to find a contract like that for somebody who
Yeah,
can't find a spot on his own squad, doesn't have a position. And Nelson, what's disappointing for him now is that,
it's
I guess
injured.
the loan wasn't good, that loan wasn't as well received because he didn't get called back, and now he's injured. So now Arsenal sits there with a player they probably can't put out on loan, and he's gonna be sitting there on their books, basically just going the trainer's table and back home again. And once again, that could be another wasted year for him.
Yeah,
I think at some point you have to be humbled and just accept where you are in the game, right? Not everybody, and as Arsenal's catering to that and creating, he's hurt. They're hurting the player to some degree, and they need to have a serious discussion with these players and tell them, look, I want you to be part of this squad, but I can't do that
yeah,
for you. So
yeah.
you're gonna have to make a hard decision. I can't keep you here because I don't want to hold you back, and you're gonna hurt other players on my squad. It's gonna look worse when you're not even part of the squad, and I'm still paying you. That doesn't look good for you, and
Neither.
hurts the team that basically got you in this position. At
Yeah,
some point, what I think we're like lucky to have a Saka. Sakas don't come around, right? Emil
yes, we
Smith Rowe
don't.
went out on loan, and Keda went out on loan. I mean, Martinelli and Saka are not. That's not how it usually works for most
Yeah.
players. So, yeah, I'll let you go, Des. I might have said everything you wanted to say, but hopefully you have more to add. And
No, no, it's okay, Gary. I don't mind because I might have missed a few of those bits out, but I have got a few things I could add. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, it's like he can't be bothered. He's been given
Yes.
he's been given opportunities and he hasn't grabbed them. Yeah, and I agree with Gary. It's time to go. Yeah, whoever wants him, please come in and get him.
Yeah.
I'm more disappointed about Nelson because I think Nelson is a talented player, and if he was given the chance to play for Arsenal, he would. Where Ainsley Maitland-Niles pre-season was given the chance to play for Arsenal and he didn't show up. And yeah, I'm sorry, you've wasted your opportunities. It's time for you to go. And I agree with Gary in a big way about the bad thing about Nelson is being injured, but he's still going to get paid and he's still on the books. And no one's going to come in for him now and take him now. The only way we're going to get rid of Nelson now is if he gets fit by January and we sell him in the January window.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, look, that's a lot of money wasted. I mean, we're paying him his salary and also his medicals and all sorts of things. So it would have been nice to let go of these fringe players early in the window, the way we made our incomings. But I think it's good that we started our incomings earlier and then concentrate on the fringe players. But now we're sitting with a problem like Nelson. Sorry, Des, continue.
No, I've said all I was going to say because there wasn't that much more to add. But what I strongly agree with Gary in a lot of what he said. And it's just a shame because these two players could have had potential, and they haven't lived up to it. That's the shame of it as well.
Yeah.
How many chances do you give a player before you say, okay, enough's enough? You're going to have to go and play with someone else. You
Yeah,
know,
definitely. So I just want to touch on this person again. Don't need to really talk about it a lot. He's and I like this guy is Jared Bowen. It's still not gone. There's still a bit of link and rumor to it. I would go for this guy any day. I mean, Jared Bowen, what a player, and what a difference he is making at West Ham. And if we could have him as a wide attacker, why would we want to take somebody that doesn't have the experience he has, Gary?
Yeah. Now he plays on the same side as a Saka, right? So, and
Yeah,
he would be a legitimate competitor for that position. He may not definitely won't start there day one, but he would definitely push Saka, and that's what we need. Because if Saka can get any better, it's not going to be just. I don't think there's a lot of. He's got a lot of internals in his heart that he can do things all by himself. But I think if he had somebody else on, leaning on him, and that would
mm,
be, a Jared Bowen would definitely do that because I think he wants to play, and they both played on the England team, so how you got your teammate there from England, and also he's pushing you, and you're both getting better from it. So I think
yes,
that would be that would be perfect. And I think in this football era, having players like that on your squad is a good thing. And even if it doesn't work out, and you then decide you want to sell one of them, you've got two good players, right?
definitely.
And if it doesn't work out, if it does work out, then you're fine with your rotation, and you're set yourself up really well for when you continue hopefully in the European competitions, because that's the key, right? You want to be strong pretty much as possible, and if the drop off from the first player to the second player is really small, you're doing really good. And that's what the big teams do, right? When they bring somebody on off the bench, you're like, that player would start for most teams. And he's already starting, so this would be a really good addition. I kind of feel like any player that can threaten Saka, Martinelli, Erdegaard is a good player to have, because they are
Yeah,
still young, and we don't actually need them to start for us. We
yeah,
have no choice right now but to
yeah,
start them.
that's very true. That's
Yeah.
very true.
Yeah,
yeah.
like when
So
they're 24, 25, no player is going to sit, and they're still playing for Arsenal. That means that they've kind of made it in terms of maybe not world class, but really a top player in the league. And a 19-year-old coming in would be happy to sit behind them, right? I mean, anybody
yeah,
who back in the days came into a squad and it was Henri, they're not gonna you're not gonna have a question about whether or not what role I bring to the squad, but I'd be happy to sit behind them because they know if I learn anything from that guy, I'll be fine. So yeah.
yeah, definitely. Sorry, what happened now? Yeah, sorry. There we go.
No problem.
I can only add 1 point to what Gary said, because again, he covers all the bases. Yeah, but
Yeah, maybe I should let you go first
Yeah,
next
no,
time.
no, no,
yeah.
no, 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 please don't let Gary do all the work. I don't mind, but no, but I can add 1 point to it. Bowen, Premier League proven,
Yeah,
Premier League ready. Yeah,
yeah,
get him in. Wouldn't do any harm. Premier League proven, ready, would be an asset to the team, definitely. It's the same for Tielemans if that all comes. I mean, we're floating around. We're floating around with Tielemans, yeah? Get him
yeah.
in.
We're
Premier
taking a
League
lot of.
proven and ready. But you see, what Arsenal are doing their old trick, right? Sorry to expand on it, but I just thought I would for a second.
No, no,
We
go for it.
we get Jesus in, amazing. Bargain. I think a bargain price. There's other Arsenal fans that have disagreed with me. Zinchenko in, bargain price. Okay, Vieira, surprise. But to me, we'll find out whether it was a bargain price or not, right? But now, when we want, I mean, the fans are crying out for Tielemans. They're crying out for Bowen, right? But Arsenal are doing the old trick. Yes, we're interested, but we want him £5-10 million cheaper.
All for
And
free.
they're waiting for the. I mean, I believe that Leicester have reduced the price on Tielemans. So if they've reduced the price on Tielemans, sorry, it's not rocket science. Go in there and get him.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
get the deal done. Get him in the club. Yeah, go and get Bowens. Get the deal done. Get him in the club, because then the fans, right, can sit back and go, do you know what? We're actually doing something right for a change. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're still, even though we're happy, Gary. How happy are we with Jesus and Zinchenko? You know, yeah, exactly. So if they'd have got it all in by the end of July, like they could have done, we'd be sitting there going, well, if anybody else comes in, it's a bonus.
Yes, yes.
You know?
All right, you've jumped the gun on Tielemans. Let's go to Tielemans. There was a report saying that Tielemans is fed up with the waiting. So Leicester is willing to sell him at 25, and obviously AC Milan is interested in the other Belgian guy. So Lakonga is saying he's not going anywhere. He wants the challenge for his position, which I very admire. I admire. I think he can be a player ahead of El Nene. But if Tielemans comes in, one of those guys has to be sacrificed. And I mean, if a guy like Tielemans is fed up for waiting on Arsenal, Real Madrid and Barcelona can swoop in, because if they can swoop in for a player like him, where's he gonna go to? He has according to reports, he has an agreement with Arsenal. But if Arsenal taking longer as they should, and those one of those clubs comes and they can snatch him up. I mean, Tielemans is, like you say, is a ready-made player. 25 million, as the report is saying. And I mean,
I think
Leicester
that's
is
an
known,
absolute bargain. I think that's an
yeah,
absolute bargain.
and Leicester is known to sell their players at high prices. Look at the Fridge, Maguire at
Yeah.
80 million. You know, um,
80 million, 80 pence. Should have been 80 pence.
so I don't know. A player like Tielemans, his patience will run out, Gary.
Yeah, I don't now like you said, I don't understand what the holdup is. What is the patience? What is the why are we not moving in? And if we were interested in him early in the window, the price is right. You don't have to worry about anything really. You played against him. You've seen enough of him. So yeah, I kind of feel like they don't. That's not their priority. They were looking to get a good deal if they didn't get their first option, which I'm not sure at this point. He's ready to come in right now, day one. So I don't. Any other
Definitely.
player they bring in, he's unless they're in the Premier League, I don't see him being an easier fit for the squad right now. So, and he will fight for a position on the squad as far as starting. He can potentially push out Xhaka if he's given an opportunity.
He's an
So
upgrade on Xhaka. I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah.
that's a huge
Well,
upgrade.
he's got to battle Xhaka and Arteta, right? So it's not just the one play on the pitch; it's the man making the decisions as well. Because
Obviously,
I
yeah.
would expect to see him come on, and if he did similar to Xhaka, then there would be no improvement. But I could see him doing more, and that's when then Arteta would have a decision to make. But he needs to be able to get on the pitch in the right positions with the right players around him to make it to show what he's got. But yeah, no, I should. It,
Now,
yeah,
here's an interesting question. Tomorrow's game. Are they waiting to see whether he's playing tomorrow, and if he does well, they're gonna do the deal? Or I don't know, the decision, if he's not gonna play, what is Arsenal gonna do? So are they waiting for that game tomorrow to really make a decision based on the performance of tomorrow? Des, you're shaking your head.
I don't think so. I agree with Gary. I mean, we should have got Tielemans in week one. Week one of the transfer window, we should have got Tielemans in. What is it with Arsenal? Why do we have to buy one player at a time? Why can't we go out there and go, right, okay, so let's go buy this Vieira, let's go buy Tielemans. There's two in that. Even if they did two a week, do you know what I mean? Just double the
It's,
numbers.
it's, it's like this. You're busy with your phone, and
Yeah, 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 yeah. You know,
it's multitask. Can they multitask? That's the question.
yeah. Just I mean, no, unless they've got an agreement with, might be a verbal agreement with Leicester and say, look, you can have him until we play you, and then we're coming in for him. I mean, this is absolute pulling at straws and trying to pull things out of the sky. But, you know, unless there was like a verbal agreement saying, look, yeah, we want to see how he performs, and then we'll come in and buy him, whatever. I'm not sure. In fact, I find it quite baffling, but we should have got Tielemans week 1. Day 1. We should have done it day 1 by lunchtime, and then when it's tea time, he's out there on the pitch holding up the shirt. You know, genuinely. I mean, if correct me if I'm wrong, but could he not also he'll cover Xhaka, yeah, but could he not also cover Partey? Could he not also cover Partey?
I don't. I think his defense is comparable to Xhaka, so no.
Oh, okay. I thought he could cover both positions. I thought he could cover both positions. So
yeah, no, I think the everybody's like, well, his defense is not that good, and it's like, well, Xhaka's is not that good. So I don't think
have you seen Xhaka play?
Yeah. I mean, we don't. He's definitely not on the pitch because of his defense. I mean, that might be where his base is, but it's not as good as, you know, he's not going to sit back there like Partey is and be able to control the back, you know, sit in front of the back line, and we won't be scared about it, right? So yeah. So yeah, and I that's why, you know, I'm concerned about that not having a backup there. But I think if you change the formation around, you probably could get better out of the players. So no, Tielemans. I mean, like I said, it's probably not on their list because it's now, if the price has been reduced, now they're willing to talk. So if you have a number in mind, then you just pose it and then see what happens. But it sounds like the number they've reduced it down to is what Arsenal was looking for initially, which find it weird now that, you know, they don't want that and they didn't
want to go in for it.
Yeah.
They should be snapping their arm off.
It's 25 million. 25 million for a Leicester player, and I mean, where are you going to get a 25 million for that kind of player? So
I'll tell you what we could do. I'll tell you what we could do. We could offer him 10 million and Pepe. I mean, that's what I didn't get as well. Leno, all right, he's gone to Fulham for a ridiculous deal. It's an absolute pittance of a deal, and we could have said, look, you need a goalkeeper.
Yeah,
we could throw Leno in as part of the deal.
Mind you, whoever else is going to Fulham is our flop. The W man, Willian. Yeah, there's talk that he's going to Fulham for 2 years.
Well, good luck to him.
Just for interest sake, talking about Leno going there. So yeah, I'll be fed up myself if I was linked for so long with a particular job and I don't get the job. I mean, I will be so frustrated in saying, but hey, when am I getting my job? You know, like Gary always say.
Yes, that is.
Well, good evening, Munib. Welcome back. I hope you have a good evening to you. So yeah, again, just a quick quiz again. Who am I? I was playing for Arsenal. I went on loan to Leyton Orient and to Leicester City. And I've scored 59 goals for Arsenal. That's a lot of goals for Arsenal in one season. I mean, that's plenty goals. Just before we go on to tomorrow's game, this is the guys that we are linked with, and your honest opinion about the guy in the middle, number 30, that young boy.
Do you mind if I go first, Gary?
You should go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Pino, right? You're talking about Pino, aren't you?
That is correct, yeah.
My main concern with Pino is, okay, if we go out and pay 40 million for Pino and then send him out on loan because he's young and do a William Saliba, yeah, It's
Mm.
full. It's why when you need a player to play now. I'm not saying that he can't play now, but this is what Arsenal seem to do. They seem to buy a player and then go right off you go out on loan. See you in 3 years when you've got 1 or 2 years left of your contract, and then we'll bring you back. You'll obviously be a better player, and then we'll try and give you another contract. It's a carbon. I think it could be a carbon copy of Saliba, and I don't want that.
Okay. Yeah. Look, that is true, but I don't think for the highly rated player he is would go on loan. I think Saliba
Who's he
was a
highly
different.
rated? Glenwyn, who's he highly rated by?
Well, the Spanish giants, everybody, Liverpool. There's a lot of big teams that are interested in him. He's come on the scene last year, last season. The main striker Gerard Marino said that he can't leave because he's an intricate part of their team. I mean, that he's got a bit of a goal. He's got
Yeah,
assist.
but
Um,
but there's that point that you're missing. Villarreal need the money.
oh,
That's the
that
only.
too.
That's the only reason they're selling him. They're
Well,
cash
that too.
strapped. They're
So
cash
so
strapped.
if they're willing to let him go, he's just got a release clause of about what 69 million or 60 odd million, and they are willing to let him go for 34 50 to 40 million. Well, you know what? Maybe he would go on out on loan. I would not put him out on loan because for that amount of money to send a player out of loan is ridiculous. I mean, then you might as well get in a guy like Neto for cheaper, and he's got an experience. Or even the other guy from PSV there on the left. What is his
Oh,
face?
Gakpo.
Gakpo,
Gakpo.
yeah.
See, I like
Uh,
Gakpo. I like the look of Gakpo.
yeah. So there's so many things about how Arsenal does business. And I mean, this Pino is the flavor of the week because everybody is talking about Pino coming to Arsenal. Everybody's talking about how Arsenal should take him. Um, is he a good fit to challenge
Don't get
for
me wrong. I would
Martinelli?
take him. I would. Don't get me wrong. I would take him, but that's just my feeling. I've got a feeling we're just going to buy him and send him out on loan. I would take him. I would take
Yeah.
Gakpo. I would take Gakpo. Who was the one in the blue top? I couldn't quite see who that was.
That is the Pepe, the new Pepe, playing for Porto.
We've got the old Pepe. Do you want the new Pepe?
He's playing for Porto now, but that is where he played for a previous team. So
I mean the Wolves guy I would take as well. 'Cause as you say, he's got the experience.
yeah, Neto, he was just injured last season mostly. Most of last season it was very long injury.
Porto
Um,
keep the new Pepe.
Sorry for arriving late, but what a performance we put on against Palace. Yeah, it was a good game. Obviously, everybody has had their say about the game. I particularly like Saliba in that game. So just go back to Pino quickly, Gary. Would he be a challenge for our white players?
You know what? For me, it doesn't matter because we were going to bring in Rafina, and he was going to push players to the bench. So none of those players are at a Rafina level. So if you even thought that Rafina was an option, and you actually put a bid in or had discussions on it, none of those players should be an issue for us. Because if they're good, if they're as good as you think you're saying they are, and they could push one of our players to the bench, that's good. That's actually what we want. That's where we want to be, right? So I don't think they are at this point because they are playing outside of the Premier League, but I think the talent's there, and as Des said, we don't have time for projects. We have players. We need players that if you're going to put
Now, yeah.
money into a player, then they need to be able to play for you yesterday. All right.
Yep,
We got
totally.
Mm.
our bench is this will be our strongest bench, of course, that I've seen in probably many years in terms of like he probably doesn't have a problem with any of them. Whether or not they are at the level that he wants another question. But most of them, he's fine. I think he's fine putting them into the game, right? Because I think with the four players that I think we said are that might be healthy, and Kedia, Nani, and Holding, those are
Mm.
players that he wants, right? So yeah, no, any of those four players, I say bring them in. But we don't have time for projects, so going out on loan can't be where we are right now as a squad, right? You're seeing City, I think, do that, right? Bringing players that they potentially would put on loan. Well, they can do that because they're definitely 20 strong as it is right now, and not too many teams are. So until we're like 20 strong, and we have enough projects out there already. If you think about all the players, the young players that have gone out on loan, right? Flores is out on loan. Patina's out on loan. Norton Coffey, I think he might be injured, but he could potentially be out on loan when he's healthy. Um, Rue Walters also. I mean, we've got enough projects. We
Yeah,
don't
we
need we
do.
don't we don't need to spend, especially if it's going to cost that much. It doesn't even no six. If you're going to spend that much on him, Rafina should have been a done deal, right? Because
Yeah,
that was a sticking point for him, right?
yeah.
So we would have put a lot of pressure on Barcelona. Maybe it still would have resulted in the same thing, but we can't now have 65, right? you know, like we spent more money. We can't have like
Yeah,
more money. It doesn't work that way.
that's a fair point. That's a fair point because I mean, if you really wanted a player, then go for it. I mean, that is the exact same thing they're doing with Tielemans. Now, let's go to tomorrow's game. What can you expect tomorrow, Des?
Fireworks. Oh, sorry, you want me to cat? Right, okay. Okay.
Sorry, man.
No, it's cool, it's cool. We have to start fast like we did against Crystal Palace. We have to do that
Okay.
every game this season. In fact, if we could win every match in the first half, that would be brilliant. Because it seems after half time we get this 20-minute lull, and then we have to bring. I mean, I must admit, against Palace, when we brought on Nketiah and the other subs, they did lift the game. So we've got people that are capable of doing that. But get the game ended as soon as possible. That's what I'd like to see. Regarding the guy in the blue shirt, I think he's going to try and put on a good show. But I think we need to squash him and keep him grounded, for want of better words. We need to be playing as we were in pre-season. We need to be playing as a team, yeah. And I think Jesus will score tomorrow. I definitely do. I think his goals are coming. I just think it'll be a good game because the Foxes they're not a walkover. Even at our home, they'll play. It'll be a good game, but I think we'll win. I do think we'll win. But as I say, I think we've got to go out, start as we mean to go on, start really fast, really quick, maybe score 2-3 goals if we can in the first half, and then the 3 points should be ours.
All right, now, I've spoken about a heat wave. The heat wave for tomorrow, there's, as you predicted, it's going to be what, 34 degrees in London.
34 degrees in London tomorrow, guys. That is not. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't have water breaks.
Well, that was reported because the water breaks might be cut a bit short or not even have those water breaks. There was a report this week, and that is why I thought that we can maybe touch on the heat wave tomorrow in London. Have you been in London days when it was that hot before?
No, never.
Gary, have you been there before when it was that hot? No. So that to me can become a problem when playing in that sort of heat. The game is at what, 4 o'clock tomorrow, UK time?
No, it's
It's at 3, isn't it?
It's at 1:00, isn't it? Yeah, 1:00.
1 o'clock.
UK
Is it 1
UK
o'clock?
time.
Oh,
It's 10:00.
is it the early?
It's 10:00 over here. So
It's the early match.
Yeah.
It's what we call the early match. Yeah. The
Okay.
early kickoff. The early kickoff.
And that's in the heart of the heat.
Yep.
That the sun is
Yeah.
going to be right on on top of them.
Yeah.
So that can spell out some bit of dangers, especially for the type of football that we're playing, a very fast pace type of football, and the heat can burn us out. What would you say in that regard?
Who, me or Gary?
Well, yeah, no, if we start out, like I said, like you said, if we start out the way we have and the way I think we should be able to catch them early. If not, then yeah, we might burn ourselves out a little bit in that first half. But the way we played, I think we'll put ourselves in good positions. I mean, one of the key, I mean, maybe we'll get into this, but one of the key things is now we finally get to see, the difference between a Saliba and a Fofana. All right, because that was a talk when Saliba actually, when he joined, he was the better of the two, and now we're going to see both of them on the pitch at the same time. So, Gabriel Martinelli could make, Fofana have a really bad day.
Yeah.
Similarly, Vardy, if he does what he usually does, could do the same thing to our center back. So should be a good challenge. It's probably one that we need, and it's good to have it early because it's only going to get worse, right? With some of the teams we're going to play later on in October. So yeah, I kind of feel like this will be a good one, and I think I lost my train of thought. Not a train of thought, but where we were, the theme of our discussion earlier, as far as the game. But no, what were we talking about? Why did I lose my train of thought?
The heat wave.
Oh, the heat. Wave. Yes, yeah. So we are much younger than them, right? We're thinking Vardy up top. He's not going to be able to make those runs like he has in the past. So if he's struggling any bit, we should be okay to control him. Jesus on his day will put a lot of pressure on them, and he's done that so far every time he's played. So Johnny Evans, I think, is in the middle there. I'm just looking at their protected lineup, right? So he's an older guy. So him against Gabriel kind of going through the middle there. That should be a big challenge for them, and one we should win every time. So yeah, there's weather should it'll be tough, but I think us being the younger team by like 3 years, almost 3 years, right? Average per player when you look at it.
Yeah,
we should be able to hold up at least for a while. But we have, like you said, we have the 5 subs. So Arteta is going to have to use the 5 subs, especially if we don't get those water breaks.
The water breaks, yes. So go for it, Des.
I was just going on the problem I think the Foxes have is quality at the moment, because they haven't brought anybody in yet, have they? Because they're actually waiting to sell Tielemans to go out and get somebody. So we could have the quality to beat them tomorrow as well. And I don't think they're going to have the people on the bench to change the game.
Yeah.
So if we take the lead and we stay strong, they're not going to come back at us, I don't think.
Yeah, and their right side is, when you're talking about Fofana and Tielemans could be gone. I kind of was wondering if Arsenal would do something cheeky and just put the bid in today.
That's exactly my thought I had last night. What is the chances of Arsenal putting a bid in today? And it's a bid that they can't refuse. They have to say yes.
Do you know what? They should have had someone drive up. They should have had someone drive up to the ground with a briefcase with £25 million in it, right? Knocking on the door, going, "Hand him over, hand him over."
Here's my cash.
And he'll be in the stands, just because he's not gonna be. Most likely, won't be able to play right away, but he'll be in the stands watching. So
yeah.
I mean, why not? I mean, if you want to get him, this would be the perfect way to do it, and it's not against any rule. Maybe some etiquette, but you know what? They just lowered the price this week, so you've had.
We have got till 1 o'clock tomorrow, Gary. if you think about it.
No, but you have
yeah,
to
that's right.
register
That's
him on.
right. He'll
You have
warm
to
up and then
register
he'll
him
never
a
come
day
back
before.
out of the locker room.
Yeah. Wait, Tielemans, get your kit off because you're gonna have to go and sit in the stands, mate.
Yeah. Now the rule is you have to register him the day before the match day.
But you see, players always get pulled right from the starting lineup when they know that they're gone because the other team isn't going to sign off on it. Cause I mean, if you're Arsenal, the last thing you should do if you want the player is to let him play tomorrow.
Exactly.
He can't play tomorrow, regardless of what, like whether you want him at the end of the window or not. He can't play tomorrow. So that bid has to go in now, and they need to be. If they want to drag it out, they can, but he can't play tomorrow if you want that player. Because I
Yeah.
think if he plays, right, if we were to meet them in a cup game, he won't be able to play. And that's right
Exactly.
now, that's where he's going to play. Worst case scenario is in a cup game, right?
Yeah.
So if you're
Yeah.
thinking about it logistically, you can't let him play,
Yeah. He'll be cup tied. You're correct.
right?
So
I think that's. I don't know if that's how it works. If it's one game or if it's just you actually played that team already. I don't know how
I
it
think
works,
I,
but
I think if it had to be, so for argument's sake, tomorrow was FA Cup and he played in FA Cup tomorrow,
then it's done.
and then
He's
it's
cup
done.
tied for the
Then
It'd be
it's
cup
cup
tied for the
tied
FA
for
Cup.
FA
Yeah.
Cup. So he
Yeah.
can't then play when he comes over to Arsenal. He then can't play FA Cup. So yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So I mean, I like that idea. If Arsenal would made a bid tonight at midnight or tomorrow before 10 or whatever the case may be, because I mean we look, if I have to put something out there, is that they were leading 2-0 against Brentford last week and they gave up that lead and lost points at home, and ended up with a 2-2 draw. How is that challenging at all for the Premier League? To me, I don't know. There should be something much deeper going on at the Leicester club. I don't know. I mean, Leicester is. I like Leicester. I'm a favorite of Leicester if they play any other team. Um, and it's sad to see how that club is falling.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
I
don't know
mean,
if you
giving
want
up
it. Yeah, sorry. I don't know if you want. I just wanted to give you an update. If Marquinhos played today in the U21s, scored two
scored.
goals in the first
He
half.
looks like a good little player, him. I tell you.
So that is his third game, his third goal in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So if they're wondering if he's better than a U21 player, I think they may have got their answer.
Quite possibly, Gary. Quite possibly. Yeah.
There's your answer. Why
Well, there's
would
that
you
question answered. There's that question answered. On to the next one.
Yeah, so why would you want to go for a Pino with the same age, much more money? I mean, what is probably quadruple more than what we paid for Marquinhos?
Have you seen the size of Marquinhos' legs as well?
Yeah, he looks solid. Like you can drop
is solid as a rock.
You can drop a coin on it and it just bounce right back. You know what I mean? Like it's like there's no like flab, no fad or anything.
Yeah, fully. So talk about him quickly. If he gets a couple of cameos in our team this season before the World Cup, he will walk into that World Cup squad for Brazil, surely.
Do you think so?
Yes.
Yeah.
They got a lot of answers already, though. I think he's one for the future. Like a Martinelli. This is like Martinelli needed some time before he got into that Olympic team, right?
Yep.
Marquinhos is still. I mean, the reason why I was concerned for him, he only scored like 4 career goals
In his previous club.
So
in his career, I think.
In his career.
I think
he's nearly beat that already.
Including these three.
No, this just coming in. I think.
Prior to
So he's got 3 already in two games for the academy. So he's not. Yeah.
Let's be honest, Gary. The first game we'll probably see him playing is something like the Carabao Cup or something like that, isn't it?
Probably will, yeah. But I'm sure he will be a name to be considered for the Brazilian team going forward because yes, they've got Martinelli, yes, they've got Rafinha to cover the white spots, but still, I mean, there's this Pepe guy as well. Apparently, he's a Brazilian as well. So there's a lot of youngsters coming through, and I mean, if he gets a good time at Arsenal this off season, I'm sure he could be considered for the position. So going back to tomorrow's game. Sorry, Des, you wanted to say
I just
something?
wanted to say one more thing about Marquinhos, just quickly. He's doing it. He's doing the right thing for people's ears to prick up and people to notice him. He's doing it the
Yeah,
right way, and he'll be playing for Arsenal sooner rather than later. I think at some point. There we go.
true,
Please carry on.
true.
Please.
So I don't know. This is somebody new, Kakuza. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. We need Yuri Tillemans. Welcome to you, with Kakuza. I'm not sure if you're still watching, but thank you for your input. Manip, you're quite quiet there. What is your take on tomorrow's game? If you could maybe just leave your thoughts on that. So tomorrow's game, are we gonna get a prediction?
Yeah, no problem. I'll let Gary go first because he usually picks my prediction. He usually picks my prediction, and then I have to think up another one. So I'm going to let Gary go first.
I, you know, I'm saying 3-1, and I shouldn't even say the one because I don't Ramsdale, of course, as we know now, does not like giving up his clean sheet. So so
Totally.
so I kind of feel like 3-1 might be like upsetting Ramsdale, and then we're going to win 3-0 anyway. So I'm going to say 3-1 just to upset Ramsdale and make sure his back line is set. Right. And
You've got to keep him angry, Gary, because he
yeah.
performs better when he's angry.
Yeah, there you go. You won't like me when I'm angry, kind of thing. So no, I kind of feel like, yeah, I'm going to say 3-1. Jesus, is going to get on the sheet early, hopefully, and then hopefully he'll be pulled out, early enough that Nketiah, whoever comes in, can get like 20, 30 minutes. That's kind of how I feel this game should go, especially with the temperature. He's going to put in a lot of work, right? So let him put in a lot of that work, and then let him know that he's probably going to come out early.
Yeah.
And then if that's the case, he knows he's got to score, and he's got to put people in position to score. So, yeah.
All right. So Manip is saying for tomorrow we must win. We're playing at home, and with our new team, the boys will do us proud, I believe. Okay, cool. You can also leave your predictions with us, Manip. So yes, Des, what are you saying?
3-1 is a good shout, Gary. I've got to say, 3-1 is a good shout. But I think we're going to get a clean sheet. I'll take a 2-0, and I think Jesus may score both goals, and I'll take a 2-0. But I've got to say, Gary's is a good shout. I think because of his age, Vardy's going to struggle with the heat tomorrow, so I don't think he'll score. And I don't know who will score for Leicester if Vardy doesn't score. So yeah, I'll go 2-0. Both scored by Jesus.
Okay, there Manib agrees with you. I will agree with Gary because on Monday night I predicted that on the Arsenal show, the Cape Town official supporters club show. Okay, Martinelli, both Brazilians will score according to Manib. So I will go for a 3-1 as well. And what I would say with that is that I think we will have the upper hand on the temperature because we trained today, and I believe today was also, but not that as hot as tomorrow. But we also had a bit of a heat today. So the training that they had will also sort of open the window for tomorrow's heat. So I think we will have the upper hand on the heat of tomorrow's game. So yeah, a 3-1 for me. I'm not sure. I don't know who's going to be the scorers, but a 3-1 is going to also upset the defense. Not so much Ramsdale. I think the defense, if they get a goal past them, they tend to try and do it better the next time out. So yeah, that is for me a crucial game tomorrow. Who are we playing next? It's
Bournemouth, I think it is, right? So I think it gets easier.
uh, we're going to Bournemouth, and then we're
Bo-
playing another derby at Fulham at home and at Aston Villa at the end of the
mhm.
month. So this month it's got 31 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we playing midweek
Villa, yeah.
against Villa?
Yeah, it's a midweek game, isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
No, we should. I mean, 15 points should be the expectations for this squad going into October. So
I totally agree. I did when we were talking about this before, Glenwyn. I was a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit worried about Aston Villa, but after seeing them play last weekend, yeah, we should be scoring 15 points.
yeah,
Yeah, totally.
and if our
Yeah.
aspirations are for top four, those are the games right now for us. Those are the games we need to win because the other games are going to be tough on us. But this one,
Mhm.
this one we definitely need to.
You mentioned
Uh,
something in of October, and I mean October is going to be our worst month.
yes,
We're starting October with a derby, then we have Liverpool the following, then we have Leeds, then we have Man City, and then we've got Southampton and Nottingham Forest. So we've got four real challenges in that game. I'm saying Nottingham being a challenge because they knocked us out of the FA last season. So
The thing about October, though, yeah, just to add to what you're saying, Glenwyn, the thing about October is transfer window's over by then, and if we get the players in that we want to make this team stronger, I think the derby against the London KFC, we should beat them.
that is the one game that I'm very concerned over. Is that game? Um, I don't know. Even though if it is the first game, but the last few games of last season, and I mean, none of the new players really played on last week. They only had a cameo. If last season's games, the last 2 or 3 games that Spurs played, as anything to go by how their new season is looking, and including last week, they looking a hell of a threat, eh? And I'm concerned about that. I mean, I hate when I'm saying it, but it's a concern for me. Is that Spurs game? I can't. I can't.
Don't let it get to you. Don't let it get to you. Just go. Do what me and Gary. We're very zen, me and Gary. We just go with the flow. We go with the flow. Yeah. Don't let
just,
it
re-
get to you, Glenwyn.
just remember they've got their own adjective, right? So it's not a good one. So yeah, no, we need to be playing. We need to have that rotation set and ready to go when we go into that match. And they've had teams that comparatively were a lot further ahead than us, and we still be able to challenge them. So, you know, we shouldn't be concerned as much because we are getting better as well. And both winning teams scored 3 goals against each other. So we have that to go on. And
Yeah,
I think we're going to be better, especially like I said. Now we have 4 legitimate players off the bench that we like, and hopefully we'll get a couple more before it's all said and done, in the season and the window's closed. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
All right. So yeah, that brings us to the end of today. Well, once again, I wanna thank you guys. I want to thank you for tonight. Any last words from your side, Des?
Um, don't forget your question,
Yes, yes.
and I just want to say it's a pleasure to be on here. I get to go on other podcasts as well, like Arsenal Fan Circle, Cannon Fodder. So if you guys in the chat want to go and check them guys out as well, you get to learn a lot more about Arsenal, especially when you have me and Gary on there because we talk a lot of sense. The other people are on there just there to make up the numbers. Don't worry, But yeah,
Uh,
end of the day, we're all Arsenal fans. We all love the Arsenal and love being on this show. Glenn, as always, glad to be here with Gary. Always learn something from him. especially about etiquette and all this kind of stuff, and when to laugh and when not to laugh. I'm starting to learn that. You know what I'm talking about, Gary. But thanks for having me on. It's been great. Thank you very much.
All right. Before Gary says his last words, this is the person that we want to guess who it is. He scored 59 goals, and he started as a schoolboy in '85 for Arsenal, and then he also have the FA Youth Cup with Arsenal, but having to fight for a position with Paul Merson and Alan Smith, and then obviously he became an Arsenal fan, a player after Leighton Orient and Leicester. Gary, your last words before we reveal who that magnificent person is.
Yeah, well, once again, Glenwen, thank you for having me on. I appreciate coming on. I know for me, it's a little, I'm usually working at this time, so it's why it's hard for me to get on regularly. But when I can, I enjoy coming on. Once again, Des, it's good being on with you again. I think I've been on a show with you 3 times now this week. So yeah, I don't know if that. Yeah, so it's been a.
Do you know what, Gary? We've been on a show 3 times this week, but each show we've been able to bring something new to the show instead of repeating ourselves.
Oh no, for sure. You always wonder if you're gonna, be on there too much saying the same thing over and over again. But yeah, we've found a way to make it unique each time.
Yeah, I think there's so many things to talk about Arsenal, and I think most of the content creators like yourself, Gary, there's so many things to talk about when it comes to Arsenal, because it's such a phenomenal club to have a conversation about. And it's always nice to have you guys on the show. I mean, there's not a lot of people at one time watching us, but I always see afterwards there's a couple of views more than the actual night. And I think you guys make a lot of sense, like they're saying. So, but thanks a lot once again to you guys to have Gunnar Matters in your heart as well. So we're gonna reveal who this guy is. So if anybody knows on the panel between you two, Des and Gary, if you know who it is.
I've got a guess. Gary, what do you think? Did you want to go first, Gary?
No, I'm not good at this.
Gary said last time. Okay. He's not
I'm probably 100% wrong, and I should still do my studyings in Arsenal history, right? But here we go. Kevin Campbell.
All right. And you, Gary?
I was looking because I assume that is the body, the torso of the player, and I was like, those legs. Like when you said Kevin Campbell, I was like, I don't know if those legs are big enough.
Yeah, that's a fair point, Gary. But I'm just thinking about that sort of time, and I think that's when Kevin Campbell was.
I'll go with Des. I'll go with my brother. So yeah.
Cheers, brother.
Manip and anybody else in the chat, before I reveal, if you know who that is, you may say you may give it a go. You stand a chance to obviously become a family member of Gunnar Matters. Going once, going twice.
I think we're wrong, Gary, because he hasn't said we're right. So I think he put it over to chat. He put it over to chat.
All right, there we go. And you are.
Do you know what? All I need is Arsenal to beat Leicester now. It's a perfect weekend.
There you go.
No, well done, guys. So yeah, that is Kevin Campbell. It took me a long time to think who I'm going to put out this week. So yeah, Kevin Campbell made a comment.
I have to say, where did you get that photo from? Because Gary's right; those legs didn't look big enough.
Yeah, no, this is a photo. Obviously, it's a photo that is very small in the image, so I had to just blow it up a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm surprised Kevin Campbell could get a pair of shorts on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nah, he'd a pair of legs, eh? Yeah. But nonetheless, guys, thanks a lot once again, and I hope you guys have a good time tomorrow watching the game. Gary, you live tomorrow at 5 UK time, right?
Yes. So
have you got one on tomorrow, have you, Gary?
Yeah. So pretty much right after the match.
Cool, cool.
The,
I'll be there because I'm half day tomorrow, so I'll be there.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
I'll be watching as well. But thanks a lot, guys. Say hi to your families, and those guys are in the chat: Manip, Kakuza, and the other people watching. Thanks a lot for your support, and yeah, don't forget to
Hit,
be awesome and be blessed. Sorry,
I was just going to
Dave.
say, hit the like and the share button, guys. Get us out there. And as Gwenwyn says, if you get in touch with him, you could be on here with us talking a load of rubbish and part of the family. So get yourself sorted out. Just press that button. It takes a second. That's all it takes.
That's it. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Thanks a lot, Manip. This guy is always a pleasure. Thanks, man. Guys, yeah. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Say out to your families. Go well.
Yes, definitely.
Thanks.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you.